I'm simultaneously shocked and intrigued by the crossover of surprising detail and psychological contortions. I'm astounded by the immediacy of the images, the pathos, the passion, and the tragedy unfurling in front of my eyes. It's a brutal script for 1970s policing in New York. It's the highs and lows of humanity, where the forces of neglect and politics have thrown society onto a determined and deliberate collision course. Between 1978 and 1981, Jill Freedman followed and documented the New York Police Department as they patrolled Manhattan's Ninth and Midtown South precincts. The result is a crude and gritty visual diary of New York during one of its wildest times. With Jill Freedman's Street Cops, I'm in the front seat of this fallout and excused none of the violence or upheavals. She shies away from nothing, and neither does she sensationalize her position and role as privileged witness. We watch crime and punishment, gentle exchanges between officers and members of the community, vulnerability, frustration, and a world like that of Ouija, which seems permanently in the twilight, a never-ending film noir. While Friedman's images suggest a bias towards the police, they also show empathy towards those caught up in a city spiralling to the bottom. Ultimately, Street Cops is a harsh world, but Friedman is not a harsh photographer. Her sensibility and reason stand above, and as a singular body of work, Street Cops is a classic, which encapsulates the full gamut of human emotions with an intelligent and tender grace. This is the most embedded piece of work I've come across. You are so close and entwined that you can smell the places and faces, and Friedman's images have a directness and vitality that only deep immersion with your subject can define. She approached all her photography with an anthropological interest and no judgment. She wanted to tell a story as she saw it and heard it, and Street Cops is a collection of stories about a city and its people on both sides of the law. I put a lot of time into being invisible, she said. When I was a kid, I always wished I had one of those rings or cloaks that made you invisible. Then I realized years later I am invisible behind a camera. I am a camera.